Welcome back to Movie Idol. So in this video, I want to talk about Michael Cudlitz returning to The Walking Dead, I guess to direct, I should clarify, which episode he's going to be directing, and also, I guess, give an update as to what's going on right now with The Walking Dead universe. Obviously, before we jump in, I do have to warn you for spoilers for Season 9 of The Walking Dead, mostly just like the ending events, like episode 15 and 16, because some pretty major deaths happened near the end of the season. Also, just to let everybody know, my Instagram is back up. I did have to make a new account. I'll leave a link down below. It is just at Movie Idol anyways. I had to get rid of the old account because of stupid issues with signing in, and then there was the account name issue, and then I had to delete the account. I couldn't use the account name, and I had to wait a while to be able to use it, and just a bunch of stupid things. Anyways, I'm back on now, so again, I'll leave a link down below. I know a lot of people were asking about it because it just disappeared out of nowhere like a month or two ago. I thought I would just be fine without it. I was like, oh, whatever. I won't worry about Instagram. I'll just use Twitter. But I like posting pictures. I like posting behind the scene things, and I do overall just prefer Instagram over Twitter. But yeah, anyways, my Instagram is just at MOVIEidol, so make sure to go follow me. But Michael Cudlitz tweeted today, headed to Atlanta to direct my second episode of The Walking Dead tomorrow. Could not be more excited. So he's either heading to Atlanta to direct his second episode tomorrow, or he's like heading there today to direct for tomorrow. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure he's starting to direct episode 2, just because they started filming the first episode, I think it was like May 2nd or May 5th or 6th. It was somewhere around there anyways, and it's been about a week or two, so that's about enough time to film the premiere. I think the premiere is mostly going to be taking place in Alexandria anyways. Like, I think we'll see some stuff with the Whisperers, but I feel like the premiere is like mostly anyways, primarily going to be taking place in Alexandria. Just because all of our main characters are there. We have Michonne there, Carol, and Daryl. They're the three main leads of this series. Like, there's really no one else in Hilltop, right? And I do think we'll pick up with them a little bit, but who knows? Maybe not. Like, if Michael Cudlitz is filming at the Hilltop, maybe they're going to focus on Alexandria for episode 1, and then with episode 2, focus on the Hilltop. I guess they could just do both, but yeah, I think the main focus is going to be everyone in Alexandria in the premiere, mostly because that hasn't happened in a very long time, right? Like, Carol left Alexandria a long, long time ago. To have these three main leads here, these three main characters in Alexandria, I mean, that premiere is just going to feel really amazing. I don't think Michael Cudlitz directing an episode really hints that it's going to be more Eugene focused. I would like that to be the case, but I don't really see the relation there at all. Just because he directed episode 7 of season 9, and I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he did. And that episode, from what I remember, really wasn't Eugene focused at all, which I feel like it should have been. But that was his first episode directing, right? And so obviously he's learned a little bit from there. They're probably going to be giving him more and more to do. I really can't wait to see more behind the scenes stuff. Like, I'm sure people are going to start posting it a little bit more. That's why I'm so happy I'm back on Instagram now, because I can actually see if Norman Reedus or all these other people start actually posting photos. It is getting very exciting though. Like, they're starting episode 2 this week, it seems like. So by the time Fear the Walking Dead starts in like just under 3 weeks, we're going to be on episode 3 likely. Probably even before then, like at the end of May, we'll be starting episode 3. So we're really starting to build with this. Like, at this point now, since they're starting episode 2, we're actually starting to get into some of the conflict a little bit, right? I don't really know what to expect from this premiere, because season 9's premiere really was setting up this new world. It was titled A New Beginning for a reason, right? It was setting up our characters and the big time jump, even though we got a way bigger one later on. And so with this premiere for season 10, I don't really know what they're planning to do next, because they haven't really solved the problem that they were facing last season. They kind of lost, right? So what do they do now? Do they just sit still and just live? Do they just allow those deaths to have happened and just, abide by Alpha's warning? Obviously, we know certain characters like Carol and maybe even Ezekiel, like some characters aren't going to stand for that, but Michonne, some other, even Daryl, they might just be okay with it because they're like, you know what, everything is fine right now. But I do think there's going to be a lot of issues in terms of how do we get to certain communities? How do we gather resources if the Whisperers are there and they have that border there? I think a lot of people are going to be outraged at that border because we're not allowed over there because they're going to kill us. Like, these animals are just over there threatening to kill us if we enter that side. Like, you know what I mean? And so I think we're going to see a little bit. I think we're going to see certain things in this premiere that's going to set up a lot of internal conflict in Alexandria. I think that's why we have Carol, Daryl, and Michonne there. They all stand for different sides of this conflict, right? They all have different emotional values in this. What I'm hoping for, and I do think we likely will get this, is a lot of what we got early on in season 9 last year with Rick. If you remember, Rick was trying to build this bridge. Rick was trying to work with the Saviors and almost just have everybody live in peaceful harmony. I mean, like, he was trying to keep Carl's vision alive. That was his main focus. And you had all these things with the Saviors and the Final Warning and Oceanside, and there was just so many problems, and he was just really trying to hold everything together. I think Michonne might be that person this season, which could set up her departure. It's going to be a little different. Obviously, they're not going to rehash the same story that Rick was going through in season 9. They're going to do something very different with this. It's a very different threat. They actually have a threat out there. Whereas with Rick, there essentially was no threat. There was people dying here and there, but overall, everything was generally fine. Honestly, just talking about this really makes me excited to rewatch season 9. I haven't rewatched The Walking Dead in a very, very long time. I did watch some stuff with season 7 and 8. And I guess a few episodes from previous seasons a few months ago, but I haven't actually sat down and rewatched the entire series in a very long time. And I think I will do that for season 10, but for sure I'm going to do season 9. I'm going to wait until the Blu-ray comes out just because I want to have that experience. I haven't bought a Blu-ray for The Walking Dead in a very long time. That's probably going to come out in August, I'd imagine. And also on Netflix, I think it's coming out in September. That's, by the way, when I'm going to do my season 9 review, my full review, because by then it'll have been 5 months since the season ended. I'll be able to think very clearly on a lot of things, but I'm just super excited. It's May 14th right now. Comic-Con is in 2 months. Fear is starting in 3 weeks, and I'm kind of excited for Fear for the first time in a very long time. And the reason is because it's connected to the Rick Grimes movies. And I'd imagine they'd have something there in the premiere episode, right? That sort of connects to this bigger story, something to keep you there for the rest of this first half of the season. At least writing wise, I feel like you would want to set up something there, right? It kind of makes sense, I think. But I'm super excited for The Walking Dead. I'm excited for more news. I just can't wait to watch The Walking Dead again. It's been too long. It's almost been 2 months. I guess it's been a month and a half now, but because of the way Game of Thrones is going right now, I'm excited for Game of Thrones. It's a lot of fun, but it's weird how much I've been going back and forth. I always thought The Walking Dead was a much better show, and then I would go into Game of Thrones a little bit, then I'd go back to Walking Dead, back to Game of Thrones, and then Walking Dead really had its low there with season 7 and 8, and then season 9 got a lot better, but I was still well, Game of Thrones is still riding this really insane high, and then we get to what season 8 has been for Game of Thrones. A lot of it really good. I really like a lot of what happened in season 8 so far, but a lot of writing decisions, a lot of people have been critiquing a lot, and I'm just you know what? With The Walking Dead, we've never really had this much of an issue. The worst thing that we got in The Walking Dead was Carl's death, right? Which is still really big, but it doesn't really affect the overall story. In certain ways, it did with Rick's character and certain things there, but it didn't affect the survival story since The Walking Dead doesn't really have an end game anyways, right? Not at least like Game of Thrones. With Game of Thrones, they have the White Walker threat, they had that, and who's going to sit on the throne. They have a specific ending, whereas The Walking Dead, Carl's death doesn't really affect the ending because the show overall doesn't really have a direction or a purpose that it's going towards for the ending, right? But yeah, episode 2 is starting now. I'm really excited. Fear the Walking Dead is around the corner. A lot more Rick Grimes news is going to be coming out then, which I do also want to confirm that Gimple said there would be an announcement once the Rick Grimes story in this first half of Fear plays out. So expect that to come near early July. Really in July is when we're going to be getting a lot of news because Comic-Con is that month. The first half of Fear season 5 will be over. A lot of setup for the first Rick Grimes movie is going to be teased then. So yeah, overall, there is a lot to look forward to. But before I end this video, I do want to let you guys know that I plan to do a Q&A for both Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead this week. I'll make another video tomorrow where I remind you guys in the beginning of the video. This way a lot more people can post their questions because not a lot of people make it to the end of the videos. It's 50 or 60% of my audience actually makes it to the end of the video. So yeah, I'm going to take questions on The Walking Dead season 10 and whatnot, and then with Game of Thrones, obviously with this finale. So post all your questions down below and I'll answer them. I'll choose 10 to 15 questions per video, but post your thoughts down below. Are you guys excited for episode 2 or just season 10 in general? Fear the Walking Dead starts in 3 weeks from now, so that's really exciting. I guess less than 3 weeks now, right? That's really exciting. I do wonder if it's a bad thing to be excited for Fear only because it's connected to Rick Grimes. It is kind of weird to be excited for something related to the main show, but I talked about this in previous videos. I don't think it's necessarily that bad of a thing. They want to connect everything anyways, right? And I think there was a time a few years back where I didn't want the shows connecting at all. Even a year ago, I don't think I wanted the show to connect at all, but if they're trying to create this bigger universe out of everything, and if they do keep the characters separate, and if they handle it in a very exciting way, I do think overall I'm going to be okay with it. So yeah, I mean, why not? Why not do that, right? I think it could work out. And I think in this premiere, I don't think there's going to be a connection to Rick Grimes specifically, just because I think the timeline wise anyways, I don't know how long it's been in the season 5 premiere since the season 4 finale. I still think it's been before season 9, right? So I think we're still pretty far away, but there will probably be some connections to maybe Rick Grimes is capturing. Maybe it lines up in a way where in the mid-season finale of season 5, Morgan hears some news about, oh, Rick Grimes was captured, or they hear something. I don't know. That would be really cool. Also, make sure to go follow me on Instagram. It's just at MOVIEidol. And yeah, thanks for watching.